Okay, number 21 wants us to write the ionic, net ionic equations for the following reactions. Well, we have to figure out the chemical reaction and see if there's a solid formed. So I write out the equation. I'm going to start a new line here. We'll put the products underneath. We need to check our solubility rules, though. So what's going to happen? You're going to have a double replacement reaction. They already told us these are not soluble by putting aqueous here. But silver is going to be able to attach to sulfate if it wants to, and sodium is going to be able to attach to nitrate if it wants to. So let's look at the rules. We know that sodium is never going to be soluble, and a nitrate will never be soluble. So there will not be sodium nitrate. But what about the silver sulfate? Let's look at the rules for sulfates. Sulfates are soluble except when it comes to silver. So it's going to be insoluble. So we are going to make a solid silver sulfate. How do we write that? We write silver sulfate solid. However, sulfate is a -2, silver is a +1, so it's going to be Ag2SO4. What's the remaining thing? You're going to have sodium nitrate, which is NaNO3. Why? Sodium's +1, NO3 is -1. And it's going to be aqueous. So we have our total, our molecular equation. Now we're going to make a total ionic. We're going to break this down into ions. Silver is always +1, it's aqueous. Nitrate is always -1, and it's aqueous. Plus sodium, there's 2 of them. Oh, wait a minute, we forgot to do something. We have to balance it. I have 2 silvers here, 2 silvers here. 2 nitrates, 1 nitrate here. I have to put a 2 here to make 2 nitrates here. That gives me 2 sodiums, 2 nitrates, 2 silvers, 1 sulfate, 2 sodiums, 2 sodiums. We're good, we're balanced. So we're got 2, 1, 1, 2 mole ratio. Not that that's relevant right now, but it's always good to write it down if we had to do moles. So let me plus we have sodium here. So if I have 2 here, I got to put a 2 here. If I have 2 nitrates, I got to put a 2 here. React with 2 sodiums, which are always +1, and 1 sulfate, which is always -2. Makes sense. 2 positives, 2 negatives. We have our arrow. The solid will always be the same on each equation, so I'm not going to change that. Looks like that. Plus, this is aqueous, so I'm going to have 2 sodiums plus 2 nitrates. Those are the same on the left and right of the arrow, so that makes them spectator ions. I can cross those out, leaving me with my net ionic equation. Two silvers react with 1 SO4 -2 to make Ag2SO4 solid. And that's your answer.